we're going to recreate Ivan Orkin's pork chashu recipe. He talks about running through 6 different types of pork belly before finding that one. He wanted something that would scream pork as a counterbalance to his shio ramen. Well, we're going to take that a step further. I'm going to cook this pork, in this case pork shoulder, in sous vide. That's going to take this beautiful piece of meat another notch up in tenderness and flavor. Then, I'm going to show you how to cook up a big batch and store it away for weeks until you need it. Because that's the thing, this recipe is rather involved, so if you're going to put in the investment, then I want to show you how to keep it stored away and fresh. First, we'll make the marinade. Let's start with 14 grams of fresh ginger. Then we'll add 20 grams of fresh peeled garlic. Ivan's recipe calls for sake, but instead, I'm going with 10 grams of brandy. The reason I prefer brandy is because it has a higher sugar content and I like the flavor. Then we'll add 12 grams of mirin. Now, usually this marinade uses sugar, but I'm going stevia. It's a natural herb sweetener that's actually healthier for you. Of course, we need to add some soy sauce. Ivan uses a mix of dark and light soy sauce. My mixture is 87 grams of light and 102 grams of dark. I agree that this mixture produces a nice balance between the flavors. Now, my own special twist. I'm going to add a half teaspoon of Chinese peppercorn. That adds a new and surprising flavor to the pork. Now give that a good mix and make sure all the stevia is dissolved. The next step is applying a bit of modernist technique in creating the marinade. I'm adapting this for the sous vide process and want to extract the most flavors quickly. So first, we're going to puree the mixture and break up the cells of all those spices and herbs. Breaking down those cell walls will extract all those oils and flavor compounds that we will then caramelize in the pan. And that's the next step. We're going to simmer the marinade on a hot pan. I use the non-stick for easy cleanup. We're not trying to create a fond here. Now, what's happening as we simmer is that all those sugars and amino acids are breaking down and recombining into complex flavor molecules. That's part of the magic of the cooking process. Keep stirring the mixture to ensure even cooking. You'll know that it's ready when the marinade turns darker. Here you can see that the brown foam is gone and the spices have caramelized. The sauce will also be reduced by about 1/3. Now it's ready. Now that the glaze is ready, we can put the pork on the pan. The fact that the marinade has been reduced into a glaze makes it very easy to cover the entire pork shoulder. This means that the sous vide process will work the flavor into every portion of the chashu. Look at that beautiful dark color. Because we're going to cook for 16 hours, I like to use silicone bags. Not only are they better for the environment, they won't heat up and break under the high heat. We certainly don't want to waste all this work. Make sure to get every bit of that beautiful glaze in there. Now, we're going to pour some more soy sauce. This will make sure to cook flavor into every bit of that pork. Then, we set up the sous vide. We're going to cook at 165 degrees Fahrenheit for 16 hours. The next day, I let it go for another 6 hours for a total of 22 hours of cook time. The pork will be amazingly tender and the flavor, wow, seriously, you can't imagine until you taste it. The next day, I took the pork shoulder out of the bag. Look at that beautiful color. You can tell the marinade has worked deep into the pork. Okay, technically that's not true. Most marinades can only penetrate about 2 millimeters into the meat, but it feels like the flavor is baked into the pork. Look at how that glaze is sticking to the meat. That's the advantage of the sous vide process. Now, we're going to cut the shoulder into individual portions. You can't feel it through the video, but the pork is super delicate and tender. I have to take care to avoid too much pressure as I cook the portions. The trick is to put each portion and some of the marinade into freezer sandwich bags. If you do this, they will be good for at least 3 months. So it's been a day since I left the pork in the freezer. Here's how I defrost them and get ready for the ramen. Simply put them in a bowl of hot water and let them thaw out. You'll be surprised how quickly they defrost. Certainly, you'll have plenty of time as you prepare the rest of the ramen, and please don't put them in the microwave. And here we go. Let's put in some nori, the tare, and flavored oil. I'm using burnt scallion oil this time. The soup base is my own mix of chicken and pork stock with a secret ingredient that gives it an incredible mouthfeel. I'll do another video on how I make that. Let's put in our noodles and that wonderful pork chashu, and also my steamed half-cooked eggs. And there you have it. If you found this useful, go ahead and subscribe. I'm doing a ramen series, so you'll get lots of more tips and tricks for ramen. And I'll see you in the next video.